So Anthony Gordon here, Dave. We were talking about him yesterday, and now the bid has been made.
Yeah, he's a player that the top clubs have been interested in during this summer transfer window. We've been telling you that Chelsea heavily interested. Now they have made their move. 21 years of age, 35 Premier League appearances. You look at his output though last year. I think it was 4 goals, 2 assists. Now, is that output worth 40 to 45 million or above for Everton? Well, maybe not. However, it's what Anthony Gordon means to Everton Football Club. He became the heartbeat of that side during their fight against relegation last season, the symbol for Everton fans, and it's been a miserable year for Everton supporters the last 12 months. And he's become someone that the Everton supporters are able to get excited about, and they haven't had that excitement over the last 12 months. And for Gordon's part as well, he's responded to that responsibility. We saw during the course of the tail end of that season, and as Everton were fighting to stay in the league, he was whipping up the crowd during those vital wins at the end of the season. Is it too extreme to say that Anthony Gordon has been carrying that Everton side?
Well, looking at them this season as well, how vital will he be? If he has been carrying it for them so far, what will he do this season? Dominic Calvert-Lewin, we know, is out injured, and Anthony Gordon has started both of those games, played for them in that false 9 position in a way. We know that they are struggling for forwards and for attacking players, and for Everton, he could be vital for them. Going back to some of the stats you mentioned there, last season, 4 goals, but he's only actually played 51 times in the Premier League in his career, and 40 to 45 million pounds. That is so much money. However, look at the stats that you can see. His rankings under Frank Lampard just there. Games, 20, first in the club for them. Goals involvement, 3, third in the club. Chances created, 23, second. Dribbles completed, 29. Equal first with another Everton player just there. So you can see that he is a vital part of that squad. He is young, that's setting them up for the future. But if you look on the flip side from a Chelsea perspective, £176.5 million already spent. And they are really showing that they are here. And this is another statement. We want to spend more money. We want to catch up to the likes of Liverpool, to Manchester City. And a youngster like this, they can get him in. What a prospect that could be for the years to come.
I've been talking to somebody up in Merseyside today about that, actually, and Everton are really keen to keep Anthony Gordon. They have they've got another contract offer on the table for him. That's been there a couple of weeks. The negotiations are ongoing. So there's another element at play here. Does Anthony Gordon want to stay and get a better deal at Everton? Does he want to move to Chelsea? At the moment, Everton are saying they're not interested in selling him. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens in the next week, I think, with Anthony Gordon.
You can see why Everton wouldn't want to sell him with the stats that Kyle just showed.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there was positive signs from Everton. I know they lost on Saturday against Aston Villa, but I thought they were a bit unlucky near the end. They could have actually got an equaliser. Nana came on and made a real impact. But I'm looking at it, 5-6 weeks ago, where Tottenham secured the signing of Richarlison. At the start of that week, I was told, and my colleagues were told, that Tottenham were interested in Richarlison and Gordon. And the stance, I think, from Everton, a couple of people I spoke to, was, look, if you move away from Gordon, we'll negotiate with Richarlison. I think the understanding was throughout the summer that Everton had to get rid of but sell one key player for a substantial sum. That, to me, is Richarlison. Now, it does seem a lot of money, but I'm wondering now if Everton are looking at it as from a football club. We can't be seen to sell another player, especially one who the Everton fans really love. So I'd be very surprised if they were to accept this deal. And of course, we're looking at it now, as I say, first 2 games they've lost. Frank Lampard wants to bring a couple more in. But yeah, interesting one.
Well, Chelsea's spending doesn't look set to end there. It could take a world record fee for a defender to sign Wesley Fofana. And Rob Dawson, you're on specifically to talk about this really from the Leicester side of things. How close is this Fofana deal?
At the moment, it's not close because the 2 clubs are a long way away in their valuation. And I think we've got to stress Leicester don't want to sell him. And Leicester have always had this very consistent policy that they've got a number of crown jewels, if you like, in their squads, and they won't sell them unless you reach what they consider to be above the market value and a decent asking price. They've got Fofana on a 5-year deal. So they don't want to sell him. But my understanding is that I wrote a piece for Digital last week, actually, which kind of summed up the whole situation with Leicester right now. And I said the only thing that could change to allow Fofana to go to Chelsea is if he agitates for a move. It's very difficult for Leicester to keep a really unhappy player. And we're just seeing signs now that Wesley Fofana wants to leave. We've been told that he's increasingly unsettled and that some of the people around him, we've been told by a number of sources, feel as though Leicester are pricing him out of a move. Now, why is that the case? Well, my understanding is Leicester want more than they made for Harry Maguire, and they sold him for £80 million 2 years ago to Manchester United. So more than £80 million for a 21-year-old who isn't an international, hasn't played for France yet, only had one season in the Premier League, 20 games he played for Saint Etienne. I think there's a feeling in the Fofana camp that that's ridiculous. That's too much money you're asking, and it's stopping him getting his move. But the reality is Leicester think he could be a better player than Harry Maguire, better on the ball. He's only 21 years old. They've got 5 years left on his current contract. He signed a contract extension, a 2-year extension, only 5 months ago. So you look at it from both camps, and I think you understand exactly where we are. Chelsea have made 2 bids. Both of them have been rejected. Highest of those was 60 million quid. We expect them to come back with a bigger bid, but will it be 80 million? That's a big jump from 60 to 80 million. If it's not, I can't see Leicester selling.
Also, Rob, I'm told, and you deal with Leicester a lot, that Rodgers thinks the absolute world of this player.
He's key to the way they play. There aren't many centre-backs out there that have the ability on the ball that Wesley Fofana has. Look at him at the Emirates on the weekend. That run he made where he ended up in the penalty box, a little 1-2 with Jamie Vardy on the corner of the box and had a shot. How many centre-backs playing in European football right now have that ability, have that freedom to roam, but also the ability to do it on the ball? It's key to the way that Brendan Rodgers wants to play, playing out from the back, but so all the top 10 clubs in the Premier League want to play out from the back, so Wesley Fofana would fit any of them. He's perfect for them. So I totally understand Chelsea's interest in him. I think they're going to make it difficult for Leicester. They're going to test their resolve. The one thing I would say is the later it goes in the window, the price is only going to go up because Leicester are going to be more and more reluctant to sell him. He's a key player. They haven't got enough centre-backs. They could do with another one as things are. If they sell him with a couple of days, a week to go in the window, can they reinvest that in more centre-backs? So they'll be more reluctant to sell. But what's clear is he is Thomas Tuchel's #1 choice. He's the defender that he wants for all the reasons I've just said about his ability. They do have other options. If they get priced out of the market with Wesley Fofana, they'll go elsewhere. But they haven't given up on Fofana yet, clearly.